Welcome back to my channel, me so Lisa, and today I'm going to tell you what I wish I told myself 5 years ago. So basically 5 things that I wish I told myself in my early 20s. I'll get right to it. Number 1, I wish I told myself to help my future you, if that makes any sense. So basically, think of yourself as a third person and do things that you do now that would help the future you. So for example, maybe packing the night before, so that'll help the future you the next day, so you don't have to wake up tired and stress about packing your things. So you just help the future you. Another example, going to the gym, helping the future you be healthier and look better. Because if you think about it, you're gonna become that person in the future, whether it is a year from now or a couple of months from now. So you might as well do something beneficiary to yourself, your future self. That makes any sense? It's kind of like a lot of time travel here, but just basically do stuff that will help yourself in the future. Number 2, everyone is figuring out their life. Nobody has it together. Everyone may look like they have it put together on social media or from what they tell you, but everyone is still figuring out your life. So many times people are asking me, oh, what do I do? I tell them I'm still figuring out life. 90% of the time they respond with, aren't we all? And that's true. Nobody has it figured out. Nobody knows what they're gonna do for the rest of their life, or it changes in the next 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. Nobody ever knows. For example, KFC, he didn't become successful until he was in his 50s or 60s after retirement. But yeah, there's no timeline of what people should be doing or where they should be at. And that kind of links out to my third part thing that I wish I told myself in my early 20s. Is it there's 3 points that kind of link together. So the first one is stop planning for the future. Second one is stop comparing yourself to others. And the third one that links all together is stop setting a timeline. Everyone kind of has a timeline because that's what society wants you to think that you need. So I remember growing up as a kid, I was like, oh yeah, by the time I am 30, I'm gonna have a house, be married, and prepared to have children. Which I think about it now is quite scary because I have to do that all in 5 years. Well, I don't have to, but like basically telling myself, the old self is telling me now that I have to have all this figured out by that age, which is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous thinking that there's a set timeline that everyone should follow and that this is what we need to do to be acceptable to the society. And that's not what everyone may want. Not everyone wants to be married at that age or found a partner, and it's okay if you haven't found a partner at that age. There's no rush. Because if you're rushing to live this particular lifestyle, you're never going to be happy because you're always going to be, next part, comparing yourself to others, and that you should really stop comparing yourself to others. Always miserable because you're like, why can't I be that great? Or especially on social media and stuff like that, we only see the good in people's aspects of people's lives. We don't see the negative. So we're always comparing ourselves, like, why aren't we doing more? Why aren't we traveling more? Why aren't we more fit? You have to be happy with where you are now and your progress of where you want to go. And another one is stop planning for the future. It's good to have goals. So like long-term goals, short-term goals, that's good. But stop planning and articulating every single step that you're gonna make. I remember in school, I was like, I'm gonna go to this school and that's it. So I'm gonna study this, I'm gonna get these grades, and I'm gonna go to that school. And when I didn't get accepted to that school, oh my gosh, I was so depressed. Like I just felt like a failure because I didn't get into the school I really wanted to, and I planned my whole, I don't know, 1 or 2 years trying to get into that school, and I didn't get into it. It's not good to plan too much because if something ends up not happening the way that you want it to, it really devastates you and makes you feel even worse, I guess. And what I also notice is that a lot of people like to plan for the future because they always think that, oh, I'm gonna be happier in the next few months or in the next year when I have this done, or when I get this, or I make this amount, or when I'm gonna be going on this vacation or whatnot. But you have to understand that if you always live with that mindset, you're never gonna be happy. It's good to live in the moment and also enjoy what you have now, rather than keep planning and keep telling yourself that you're going to be happier in the future, when you should tell yourself that you should be happy now with the things that you have now and the things that you're doing as well. Number 5, you constantly have to choose your partner. What I mean by that is every single day you're waking up, you're choosing to be with your significant other, and sometimes there might be obstacles in the way, but you have to realize that this person is worth it. So you're gonna make this relationship work, you're gonna talk through it, communicate, and solve the problems that you need to, because this person is worth it. I think a lot of times in relationships you feel like it's easier to run away from it and just to break it off, so just find someone else. But you have to understand that if you keep running away from your problems, no matter which relationship you're in, it's always going to end, because you're never going to work towards it and fix it, I guess. And that's what I mentioned in my previous videos about online dating. It makes it, I guess, easier to find partners, so nobody really wants to fix the problems, so then they just decide to break up and move on. Yeah, I'm not married yet, so I don't know how it's like in the married life, but I presume that even though you're married, you should always be dating and always be choosing the partner that you're with now. You may have a lot of temptations, but you should really push them away and be like, I got my wife or husband and I don't need no other person. I don't know what I'm saying. And at number 6, I just added on right now, stop caring about what people think. I didn't really have this problem, I think, growing up. Of course I was insecure, but I didn't really care about what people thought of me, because I was like, oh, they're not really part of my life, so why should it matter what they say about me? I kind of like to ignore people's negativity. I don't care about what people think, like strangers and acquaintances and stuff like that, but with people that really matter to me, so like my family and my friends, their opinions really matter. And I learned recently that I will never live up to her standards and to what she wants me to become, because I am my own individual person and I have things that I want to do in life and that what makes me happy, but not to her. For example, one thing is traveling. I love to do that so much, but my mom hates it when I go away, especially when I go by myself. But I have to understand that it's okay for my mom to be disappointed or disapproving of what I am doing, and I will never live up to her standards. In the end, I have to do what I feel is right and what makes me happy, or what makes you happy. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video off with those 6 tips. I hope you learned from it. If you're in your 20s, I guess, you can tell yourself this. It doesn't have to be in like your early 20s, or I'm just saying I wish I told the past me these things so I don't have to learn it the hard way and really be sad about it, I guess. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be happy. So these tips would have made me much happier. And plus, every day you're learning. So like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, have a good night and a good life. Peace.